Hey everyone, welcome to my channel, Happiness Handmade. My name is Lisa and I'm a lover of all things crochet, and it's market weekend! It is market day. It is a gorgeous day. It's going to be gorgeous all weekend. I'm so excited. We are here early to set up the rest of the items. I have all of my crochets with me. I am so excited. I can't believe it's finally here. We made it, everyone. Let's go get our booth set up. So as I was setting up yesterday, I realized this is my first outdoor market ever. So we're checking a lot of boxes, guys. First outdoor market, first 2-day market, first biggest market ever. We are checking a lot of boxes. I'm glad that I went the night before to kind of figure out where I wanted everything at my booth, because it really made everything so much smoother today. And I was already nervous. I was worried about my crochets. I was worried about what happened with the rain last night, but it all was fine. Everybody's booths were okay. Nobody got waterlogged or anything. It did rain, but everybody's stuff was fine. I'm really excited about using this new display because I just think it displays my loveys really, really well. So I'm excited to see what people think. I have my showstopper Happy right there front and center for us. He is looking really good. So something that I do before every market, and what I do really with every single one of my items before I ship them out, is I pray over every single one. So my goal with Happiness Handmade is to share God's light, love, and happiness to everyone who experiences my business, experiences me, experiences my makes. And that's really important to me and to my husband there. That's Jordan helping me out today. I did have some breaks in between really busy rushes of people. So, I had to break out the crochet, I had to break out some yarn and some hooks, and it was really nice to just relax and crochet. Had to make some content as well for Instagram. And again, of course, doing some more crocheting. I was out in the sun and it felt really, really good. This is day 2. So this is the one thing that not many people show you about markets. You really turn into a pack mule. You have to carry so many things to get to your market space. I was fortunate we didn't have to park too far away. Sometimes you got to park really far. This one really wasn't too bad. So here's day 2 of the setup, and you'll notice that I don't have my really awesome display pegboard. I was so bummed, you guys. The wind totally won over the pegboard. My pegboard fell over twice. Thank goodness it didn't fall on anyone. It didn't, break anything. And of course my crochets were fine, but it was just not going to work out. So note to self, the display pegboard is perfect for indoor markets, not so great for outdoor markets. But I really like the setup. I like how I have everything. I like how I still have some height to my items and to my tables. So I think it all still worked out really well. Overall, super happy with the setup. Would definitely change some things for my next market. I do like how I used 2 signs. So normally I don't use 2 signs, but I had 2 this time and I really liked that. And here I am at the end of day 2 in my happy place crocheting. Okay, you guys, we are back at our crochet corner. The market is over. Woohoo! We made it through the market. You guys, my room is a disaster. I have crochets everywhere. I have display items. I have totes. I have bags all over the place. Good thing you can only see like right here, this little corner of the room. That's why I call it my crochet corner. But oh my gosh, it was so much fun. I cannot wait to break it all down with you guys. We're gonna go over what didn't sell, what did sell, what were my top earners. We're gonna break down pricing. We're gonna break down how my pricing strategy went. And they all exciting how much I made. So get your whips, get your hooks, get your fiber fill, get your yarn, and let's get into it. All right, let's start with the items that really did not sell well. So I'm gonna first start, which I am so bummed about these, but I did not sell one scrunchie. So I did my scrunchies. So let me get this display. You probably saw it in the video earlier, but I did scrunchies for $8. Buy two, get one free. This pattern is by Kelsey Noel Creations. She is so fun. She's one of my Palm Street Squad buddies, a fellow crocheter. And this is her pattern. She sells it online and it's super quick. It's such a quick workup, you guys. I just bought the hair ties from the store in bulk at like a really good deal. And I used all different types of colors of velvet yarn to make these. And I was really excited about them because I thought that they would do really well. I did not sell one of these, but that's okay. I'm glad I still have them. Thinking about, I don't know if I'll bring them to the painted tree, but I'm definitely going to bring them to my next market. I think they're so cute. I love the display itself because it adds some height to my table. So it might not go to the painted tree, but I will certainly be making these again. I'll be selling them online on Palm Street and at my next markets. The next item that I was surprised by that I did not sell was my Alan the Alligator. So this pattern is by Oddball Crochet. I love her patterns. She is so creative. She's a great pattern designer. You can get her patterns on Etsy. And this is her Alan the Alligator pattern. She has two sizes. She has a jumbo Alan and a mini Alan. And this is the mini Alan, guys. It's still really, really big. And I just love making Allens. And I brought a couple of these to the market, but unfortunately, I didn't get any Allens that sold. And that's really surprising to me because I cannot keep these stocked at the painted tree. Every time I get one in, whether it's a jumbo or a small, they sell like that. They sell super fast. And I've also sold some on my Etsy. So they're just it's a really, really great pattern. I've sold one on my Palm Street. I mean, just about everywhere that I take these, people want them. So I was very surprised to see that I didn't sell any at this market, but that is okay. This little guy, along with my bigger jumbo Allen, is gonna go to the painted tree. And I'm confident that it will sell. If it doesn't sell quickly, I know it will sell there because they have just done so well. So definitely grab this pattern. And it's also like kind of a nice showstopper piece too, because it's pretty intricate. It does take up a lot of yarn. There is some skill required, like doing the bobbles, like the invisible, like stitch bobbles to make that clean line. So it really does show off your skills as a crocheter. So I like that too. And I just think he's so cute. So he will continue to be part of my regular rotation. No sales at the market, but that's okay. Some of my other market videos, you have seen this sweet rye rabbit. This pattern is by Mama Made Minis. I think she is so cute. I love her so much. And I've had her for a while now. So I've had her since before Easter because I was making a bunch of bunnies for like the Easter season. And I've had her, I haven't had her at the painted tree, but I've had her online. I've had her on Palm Street. And then of course I've had her at the most recent markets that I've had, a few. I've had a couple of markets and she's been with me for all of them. And she is still with me, you guys. I think she is so, so precious. She is a little bit bigger, so the price is a little bit more compared to my other loveys. And I do have her, displayed with my other loveys. So the price point is a little different just given her size, but I know she's gonna go home to a wonderful family someday, so I don't mind holding on to her. Another item that did not sell that I am not mad about at all is Happy. So if you haven't met Happy yet, this is Happy. He's my showstopper piece, and his sole job is to bring people to my booth. He is my showstopper guy. I crocheted him in part 1 of this video series. So if you want to see me making Happy, definitely check out part 1. This guy did his job. He really brought a lot of people to my booth. A lot of people came right up to him. Kiddos came right up to him. People were very interested in Happy and, you know, asked a lot of questions about how I made him, how long it took me to make him. And he was for sale. Sorry, don't listen to that, Happy. He was for sale, but I have him at a pretty high price point because of his size, the amount of yarn and polyfill it has taken. These eyes are by J&K Knotted Co. and they're gorgeous, you guys. They're like these gorgeous like golden fleck eyes, and they're like massive. I said what size they were in part 1. I think they're 25 millimeters. I've never used a size this big before. So he's a big boy and he's my showstopper piece. So he is for sale, but he's at a very high price point. I'm talking like around $200. So I really don't expect him to sell anytime soon, but that is okay because he is my showstopper guy. And I also love making reels with him. So if you follow me on Instagram or any other social platform that I'm on, I love making reels with him. So he is sticking around with me and I am not mad about it. Now let's get into what sold really well. I obviously don't have them with me physically because I sold them, but I try to take pictures of everything at the market. I am surprised at myself. I might have said this in the little video montage, but I really did not do a lot of filming. I thought I was going to do way more filming at the market, but we ended up being pretty busy. And then at the times that were like resting, I just wanted to like sit and chill for a second. As you can see from the video, I was getting my crochet hook out quite often. So I did not film as much as I thought I would. So mental note to myself to film a little bit more. Hopefully you get like a good view of everything and I lay it out well. Hopefully editor me will be happy when I start editing this, and hopefully you'll like the video too. But definitely want to do some more recording while I'm at these markets. But I definitely try to take pictures of what I sold. So as I'm talking about them, I will shoot them up here so you can kind of see what they were. I'm going to start with my top sellers. So my top 3 sellers, we'll start with the third top selling one. That was my giraffe loveys. So I had traditional color giraffes, like the yellow, and I use like a terracotta. It's burlap blanket. I use
dragon's blood little cab.
Those colors in burlap blanket for my like traditional color giraffe loveys, and all of those sold. I also made a pink giraffe lovey, which was so fun. I had a sweet mom came up with 2 sons and she was pregnant with a girl. It was their first girl. And so she let her sons pick something out for baby sister and they picked the pink giraffe. And I thought that was so cute. So normally I make the giraffe in the sun-soaked and terracotta color, but I wanted something fun and they all sold, which I thought was really exciting. Another big hit, no surprise to anyone, in the second most that I sold were my loaf kitties. So I actually went a little bit of a different route. If you saw the other parts of my videos, you saw that I only used the pastel yarn. It's Big Twist Posh, and it's in that pastel variegated color. I sold out on the first day, which was so exciting. I sold out pretty quickly on those on the first day. So while I was there, I started crocheting more loaf kitties. I did not get any of them done during the market, but I went home, got some more loaf kitties done and brought them to my market. So I had a full restock of loaf kitties for day 2. And I think I sold, I have to look at my sheet, but I think I sold like 7 out of 9 for the whole market. So I sold out on day 1 and I almost sold out on day 2. So I went with the smaller kitties. So I didn't make any big loaf cats. I made like the mini loaf kitties. The pattern that I actually use is Plammy Plush on Instagram. I got to pattern test for her and it's such a cute little pattern and it works up pretty quickly. You can use any type of colors. I like to use, like I said, that Big Twist Posh. I also use Burnette Blanket for my kitties, and they did really well. So don't be sleeping on the loaf kitties, guys. They are still really hot at these markets. Fun story about the loaf kitties, you guys. So of course the loaf kitties were a big hit with the kiddos, and there was this one girl with her mom that came up and they were just so sweet and so adorable. And if you only sell online, I highly encourage you to do at least just one market so you can experience the joy that others have when they see your makes. It lights my fire. I love it so much. It really makes it all worth it, truly. Because again, my goal with Happiness Handmade is just to spread God's light, love, and joy to everyone who experiences my platform, me, my makes, my patterns, everything Happiness Handmade is of God. And I just want everyone to feel that love and that light from Him. And so when I get to experience that in person, face to face, there is nothing better. So there was this little girl and she fell in love with one of the loaf kitties. And so her mom got the loaf kitty for her. And she was jumping up and down. You guys know, if you know like little kids, you know, the little like jumping up and down because they're so excited. She was so excited to hold on to her little kitty. Her mom handed it to her and she just gave it the biggest hug. And I was just, it was the best part of the day. Absolutely. That was on day 1. And it just made my absolute day. And then they came back later so that, you know, they walked around and then they came back later because the little girl wanted to let me know what she named her loaf kitty. It was a little pink loaf kitty. I'll try to find a picture and put it up here of the one that she bought. And she named it Cupcake. She named her loaf kitty Cupcake, and she came all the way back to my booth to tell me that. And I was just like, overwhelmed. It was so wonderful. Like, it was such a great experience. And I share that not to brag about making a sale or bragging about my makes. I'm really just sharing that because if you haven't sold in person, I encourage you to do it because yeah, you might have some people that are saying this is overpriced, or they might look at something and give you a weird look and walk away, which I totally got. I totally got those looks like, what? No way am I paying that? And they left and then it was over and I survived. But there are going to be those moments where you just make somebody's day with what you have created. And it is the best feeling ever. So I encourage you, if you haven't done a first market yet, definitely go for it because it's worth it. And the number 1 seller, you guys, is the axolotls. Oh my gosh. I could not make axolotls fast enough. So I sold out on day 1. I think I had 6 that I brought on day 1. And then when I got home, I crocheted, I think it was 4 more, maybe 3 more. And then I made one at the market. I could not make them fast enough. I sold all of my axolotls. It went really, really well. I made all different types of colors. I actually used Big Twist Posh for my axolotls. I know that's not like a super common yarn to use for like the axolotls or the plushies. I'm a huge fan of Big Twist. R.I.P. I'm a huge fan of Big Twist, and I really like making my axolotls in the Big Twist Posh. A lot of people make them in Parfait Chunky, and those are great. They look really good. They have so many cute colors. Hobie or Hobby, I think it's Hobie. Hobie has a lot of really good colors for axolotls as well. I personally just used my Big Twist Posh, and I really liked how they turned out. And they all sold, you guys. So definitely keep axolotls on your list for your markets. I use the Crochet by Jenna's pattern on YouTube. She has a free tutorial on YouTube. It is awesome. It is a quick workup and they sell really well. Another item that I sold that I have been holding on to for a long time is my ladybug. So this ladybug, I did a pattern test for Hooked by Dakota. This is actually a free pattern on her Instagram, so definitely check it out. I was actually really surprised that I sold the ladybug, not because the pattern is bad, just because I've had this ladybug for so long. Again, it's another larger size item, so the price point is a little bit higher, and I just wasn't sure if it was going to sell, and it sold. I'm so happy that it went to such a good home. Another item that did really well at my market were my dancer dolls. I'm so glad these did so well. So my dancer dolls and my mermaids, I sold out of the 2 mermaids that I had. I sold them both, and I sold 2 out of the 4 dancer dolls that I had. So these are the 2 dancer dolls that did not find homes, but I love making these. So this is actually a free pattern on the Friendly Foxes, the Friendly Red Foxes blog. You can find this free pattern. Both the dancer doll and the mermaid are both free patterns on her blog. So I'll put her information in the link below, just like I do for all the other designers. Definitely check her out. I love making these. Another item that did really well at the market, you guys, and I was so happy to see this, was my Pupsicles, my Petsicles pattern. So this was the debut at a market for my pup. No, it wasn't. No, I brought Pupsicles. I only brought Pupsicles though. I brought Pupsicles to my last market. I had 2 Pupsicles. They did not sell, but I did bring 2 Pupsicles to that market. So that was not their debut. But this market was the first time that I got some Pupsicles to sell, which was so exciting. So I sold a Pupsicle, I sold 2 Catsicles, and I sold 1 Bunsicle. So if you are interested in this pattern, you can definitely find them on my Etsy. I have a 3-in-1 Petsicles pattern where you can get the pup, the cat, and the bun. And then I also have all of those each individually sold. If you just want one over the rest of them, you can just buy them individually for cheaper. And then I also have my Ellie Pop pattern, and that is my elephant popsicle pattern. And it is so, so cute. I sold an Ellie Pop pattern too. I actually sold, or not a pattern, I actually sold the Ellie Pop plushie. So I actually sold it to a guy. He was talking about how his wife like loves elephants. It's like it's like her favorite animal. And so he always gets her like elephant themed stuff. And he had never had an Ellie Pop before. He'd never seen one. And so he grabbed one of my Ellie Pops, and that made me so happy, you guys. So they did well at the market. So definitely encourage you to get the pattern and make some Petsicles up, bring them to your next market, and please tag me. Let me know if they sold, how they did, what colors you used. I would love to see pictures of your Petsicles. Hey guys, so I'm editing right now, but I wanted to jump in because I forgot to tell you, my Mabel chickens all sold out too. So these were my Mabel chickens. They were so fun, so easy to make, super quick workup. The larger ones do take a lot of yarn, but that's okay. They were so cute. They were so fluffy. They were awesome, and they all sold out. Some other really good sellers were, my loveys did really well. So I sold a Mallard duck lovey. I sold a bunny lovey. The loveys did really, really well, which was exciting because I love making loveys. So it was nice to see that those did well. There were a couple other crocheters at the market. And so when I kind of did a like walk around to meet everybody and introduce myself and, you know, take a look at how they were doing for that market, I didn't see anyone with loveys. So the other 2 crocheters that were there, one of the crocheters was doing like micro crocheting. So like 1 millimeter hook, maybe a 2 millimeter hook, and like these beautiful figurines, and they were out of this world good. I mean, they were so good. It was such an art. It was really good to meet them and hear about, you know, why they like to use the micro yarn and the micro hooks, but very different from mine. And then the other crocheter, I got her information because obviously she's here in the Kansas City area. And if you're in the Kansas City area, for all my Kansas City friends, I want to get us all together at some point. Sorry, I'm going off on a tangent, but I really want to get all of us together. So definitely follow me on Instagram. I want to put something out for this summer where we all like meet at a park. Nothing serious, just like a serious, like just a chill crochet sesh to hang out and chat and talk and just meet each other. So if that's something that you're interested in, follow me here, follow me on Instagram. I'll put out more information here in the coming weeks so we can all get together. But anyway, so I met this other crocheter and she had all plushies. She also had keychains. Everything was in parfait chunky. and she had the cutest stuff. So she had like mushy boys. She had a couple of loaf kitties, a couple of larger axolotls, no smaller axolotls, but a couple of larger axolotls. She had some dragons. I noticed that those were the pattern by Crochet by Jenna. Those, I think it's a no-sew dragon. Those looked great in Parfait Chunky. She was super, super talented. A lot of other plushies like the pop-up mushrooms and the pop-up flowers, and then a lot of keychains. And she did great. The kiddos loved her booth. It went really, really well for her. But she didn't really have any loveys either. So it was kind of nice because we were all in like our own lane, which is really, really great about jury markets. And I'm going to go into jury markets in a little bit here, but and a jury market simply just means that, you know, the folks review your, you know, what you're selling. They may ask you to submit pictures of your booth, and that actually really helps because they don't want a lot of, you know, repetitive booths. And that's really helpful for us as vendors because that doesn't mean there's going to be a lot of overlap. And I thought those that put on the market did a really good job because each crocheter had something unique to bring. And something that was unique to my space was my loveys and my garlands. So my loveys did well, my garlands did well. I started off doing decor, and it's my bread and butter. I'm always going to bring some type of garland to my markets. I love doing the garlands, and those did really well too. So overall, you guys, I'm really happy with my inventory. I'm happy with what I brought. Of course, you always think, man, I wish I would have made more axolotls because I'm confident that they would have sold. Or, you know, I wish I would have made more loaf kitties or more giraffe loveys. But you know what? You can never anticipate. You do the best that you can. You know, research your market, you pick your best sellers, and then you just get done what you can. And you also make what you like continue to make what you like and what you love, because what's the point if you're not doing what you like and what you love? So I'm happy with my inventory. I'm happy with the amount of items that I had, and I'm really happy with the amount that I sold. Okay, you guys, let's get into the numbers. So right off the bat, and you probably saw this from my thumbnail, but you guys, total sales for the 2-day market, total sales was over $1,000. I sold $1,014 worth of crochets. Oh my gosh, that is the best market, the best sales day that I have ever had with Happiness Handmade. I was so blown away. When I first signed up for this market, I knew it was my first 2-day market. It was like the biggest market that I've ever done. And so I didn't really know what to expect very much, but I knew that I wanted to at least make my booth fee. You know, like that's like, oh my gosh, like please don't let me be in the hole. Let me make my booth fee. So made the booth fee on the first day. And once I made the booth fee, I felt so much more relaxed. Not that, you know, you saw in my other videos, like I was nervous, super excited and grateful for the opportunity, but putting yourself out there is hard. You are putting your hard work out there for the world to see, to critique, to enjoy, to not like, to, you know, to comment on, and that can be really intimidating. So I really felt like I put myself out there with this 2-day market, and I am so, so grateful for how it turned out. So total sales were $1,014. So after the booth fee, which was around $350, and that was the smallest booth fee, you guys. So there were different sizes of booths. There were some booths that had like a white backing. You notice in my picture that you could see the other stand or the other booth behind me because we didn't have any backings in between each other, which was fine by all of us. We wanted that cheaper option, and that was the cheapest booth and size that they offered. So that's what I went for, and it was $350. I also had to get a business license for this one, guys. So you probably saw in part 2, I took a little like tiny little snap shot of the business license, and I was so worried, you guys, because I did not know how much that was going to be, because every county is different, every city is different, every state is different, and every market is different, and I had never done this before. So it was very easy to do. It was an entirely online process with the city of Leawood, which is the city where the market took place. And as a vendor, I needed to have a business license. And so mine was just a temporary business license. It was like a seasonal business license. And any questions that I had, the people that were putting on the market were so helpful and, helped answer questions. But it was a pretty seamless process. And thank goodness, you guys, that temporary business license was only $12. Now, that was for the city of Leawood, for the type of license that I needed to get. So definitely do your research. If you have a market that you're going to that requires a license, definitely make sure that those that are putting on the market are giving you the information that you need, so you know what you need to do. Because I had no idea, but I was very grateful that I had a good first experience, and thank goodness it was only $12. So for the market itself, we're looking at about $362 to be at the market. That is no small number, you guys. Now you know why I was so nervous. I never paid that much for a market in my life. Not even close. I'm not talking this was 3-4 times more than what I've ever paid for. But again, all glory to God. I am so grateful for how it turned out. Because after the booth fee and then after taxes as well, I'm coming home with around $600 for this market. Mind blown. I'm so grateful. It couldn't have gone better. Hey, it's Editor Lisa again. I wanted to pop in because I wanted to go in a little bit more detail about my pricing strategy. So in part 2, and if you haven't seen part 2, I highly recommend that you go check out part 2. But in part 2, I got really real with you guys and was saying how I'm not going to go down on my prices. So every time I do my prices, I kind of go through my sheet and I price everything out based off of yarn, how much it took time it took to make, and all of that stuff. I put it all in a spreadsheet and I, push out a number. And then I always, every time I go through that sheet and I price down some of my items because I'm so worried. I'm so worried that something's going to be overpriced for somebody or whatever. Well, this time I did not do that. I kept at the prices that I knew that I wanted to keep them out at. And I held myself accountable, and I put that in part 2 to make sure that I really did do it. And you guys, I don't think that I lost any sales because of that strategy, truly. And I wanted to put this in here. So Editor Lisa coming in to make sure that it goes into this video because I was really worried about that, right? I always would knock my prices down, even a couple of dollars or even $5, $6, $7, I would take it down, which I know doesn't sound like much, but for a small handmade business, it really adds up. But I said, no, I'm going to keep my prices where I want to keep them. And I truly do not think that I received any less sales because I did that. Now, this isn't going to work every time. This isn't going to work for every market. This strategy doesn't work for everyone. And I completely understand. Make sure you price your items where you're comfortable at, what you're comfortable with putting your items at. That's the most important thing. I stepped out of my comfort zone, and I'm really glad that I did because I think it paid off literally and figuratively. Now, please know that I had a really great experience. But if you see some of my other market videos, like my spring market recap, that wasn't the best showing of a market. So it really ebbs and flows. I don't want you to walk away from this 3-part series feeling at any way discouraged. I hope that this 3-part series, it is truly meant to encourage you to kind of peel back the curtain of what my experience has been. Everyone's experience is different. So maybe some of you are out there thinking, oh man, that's all she made. That was a lot of work. I've done so much better. Or maybe some of you are thinking, wow, I've never made that much at a market. That's amazing. I do not want you to get into that comparison game. I am trying to not get into the comparison game. What I want to do is is just be totally transparent, share my experience, share what worked for me, what didn't work for me. So that way, when you jump into your next market, or maybe you're looking into doing a larger market that you've never done before, hopefully this gives you a little bit more insight into what the process is like, what it can be like, and you learn something from it. Okay, you guys, that is gonna wrap it up for this final part 3 of my 3-part series for this largest, biggest market ever. I appreciate you all so much. Thank you for being on this journey with me. I have enjoyed it so much. I am glad that I get to share with you the ups and the downs and just what my experience has been. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions or if there's any video ideas that you would like to see next. I am hoping to put together my painted tree update really soon, within the next couple of weeks here. I want to do a couple of crochet with me videos, a couple of vlogs, and really just, I'm so open. Like whatever else you guys want to see, I want to give to you too. So thank you so much for being here, and we'll see you later.